All right, ladies, this is take two. Welcome to Intro to Girlboss Week 4. My name. Oh wait, I'll give a minute or two for you guys to click the link. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is the live call for week 4, Intro to Girl Boss. Thank you so much for being patient with us, and we are so sorry. Just figuring out some few kinks in the process while we do this, but we are so thankful that you are on this call with us, and we are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Mandy Dickey, and I am the executive team leader for the team Jambellas. I joined in May of 2014. My sweet baby was just 2 months old, and I was on maternity leave from my teaching job. I joined just because I was talking to my sponsor, and I was kind of flirting with postpartum depression as my person was working a lot of hours, and I was home. We shared a car, and so the way that Eden talked to me, I was just like, wow, Jamboree can provide so much more. I would love to have $200, but I think I need friends. So I joined, and this business has been a complete blessing to me and my family. The friendships has really nurtured my heart and soul, and I am so thankful for it. And now I am going to introduce Shelly.
Hey ladies, I am Shelly Scholler. I am team manager in Glam Jams. I'm going to give you the abridged version this way we can save a little bit of time. I joined in June of 2014 as a way to kind of supplement our family income. We had dropped down to a one-income family, which, as many of you know, is very stressful. So I did this as something not only for myself, because I absolutely love Jamboree and I love the sisterhood that it brings with it, but I also did it because I was able to provide for my family and actually pad our finances a little bit to allow us a little bit more financial flexibility with our finances. And it's also allowed me to give my son lots of stuff that we couldn't normally do because we were a little bit strapped for cash. So that's my story, the shorter version of it. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to our amazing executive, Becky.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for working with us. We got a little bit of a rough start here. We apologize for that. I love that you get to see that we're just kind of your normal everyday ladies trying to figure this business out and just doing the best that we can. And sometimes there's hiccups and mess ups, but that's totally okay because we're used to that. We're used to just kind of rolling with the punches and being flexible, and I love that part of this business. Like I said, I'm Becky DePriest. I'm the elite executive for this team, and when I got started with Jamboree, my oldest was 17 months and my youngest was 3 months, and it was just very busy. My husband was working 2 jobs. He was working 70 to 80 hours a week, and it was just a really busy time in life, but I knew that it would be worth it. I knew if I just worked hard and made a few $100s a month, that would be a huge stress reliever for us. So it's just turned into so much more. My why has changed, and that's what I kind of talked about in one of the daily vitamins, is that your why can change over time. My why at the beginning was just to make a little bit of extra income. My why now is kind of switched gears, and I just love seeing what this business can do for other women. And that's why I've loved being a part of the Intro to Girl Boss page, because it's been such a blessing to see how Jamboree is affecting your guys' lives and what it's doing for you, and especially what this training is doing for you. It's been such an encouragement, I think, to all of us. So thank you so much for your participation and your dedication to your business. I just kind of want to be the first one to say huge congratulations on making it to week 4. It's a big deal, and I want you guys to celebrate that. It was hard work. It was a lot of time and a lot of effort that you guys put into the business, and it takes a lot. It's almost like a mind game. You feel like you can't go any further because it's pushing you to do things that you're uncomfortable doing or things that you've never done before. But all of you are here for a reason. You've all pushed through, and you're here at week 4, and that's a big deal. And I want to take a minute to celebrate that. And we're going to celebrate that more at the end of week 4, when we can really have our party. But the one thing that we want you to do is we want you to write down your biggest victory that you've achieved in Intro to Girlboss. Something that you're the most proud of, that came out of this training. Something that you feel the best about. We want you to share it with your team manager, because I know I can speak for all of us, all the team managers, when I say that we love hearing from you. We love hearing what Jamboree is doing in your life, and we want you to share that with us. So please share with us your biggest victory that you've achieved from this training. Okay. Here's where we left off before. Let's keep going with this. Let's talk about work hard, play harder. You've probably heard this saying before, but when you work hard and you manage your time and you're hustling, that's going to allow you the freedom to play harder and rest more when you're not working. When I think of this phrase, I think of the concept of business hours. When I first started, man, I did not have good business hours in place, and I felt like I was working all the time. And I thought, man, I never get a rest from this. Like, I'm always answering customers' questions, or I'm always following up, or I'm always whatever, sending out samples. And I just didn't implement business hours correctly at the beginning. And so this concept got passed down to me about business hours. And so when you implement business hours and you work really hard during those hours, then you're able to kind of just let your mind go once you're done working and just focus on other things. Focus on your family, the rest of the things you need to get done for the day. That's what it does for me. It doesn't make me think, after I'm done working, it doesn't make me think, oh man, maybe I should have gotten something else done. No, because I set the things that I needed to get done during those business hours, and I got them done, and now I can go play harder because I've gotten my work done. So that's kind of the concept behind this, is you work hard so that you can play harder. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about Christian Deputy. Jody Deputy, she works at home office, and her husband, Christian, he had shared at our executive retreat a little bit about his story. His quote here, combine hard work and a positive attitude, is going to mean a lot more when I tell you a little bit of the backstory behind him. He was out bicycling, and he got in an accident and crashed on his bicycle, and he ended up being paralyzed from the neck down. And he was able to get up on stage and walk up on stage and talk to us and tell us that it was a very, very long journey of trying to regain strength and trying to relearn how to walk and how to eat again, and just the smallest things, just like moving his thumb, and he was just telling us that having that positive attitude was the key for him. Like, if he didn't have that, there was no way he was going to make it as far as he has. And it was just such a testimony of being positive despite your circumstances, and just moving forward no matter what, and not letting your circumstances define you, define how you're going to move forward. So having that positive attitude, that's the key when it comes to working hard. Okay, I'm going to talk about systems a little bit. Creating systems that support you and make you happy, oh, that's so important. If you have something that makes you happy, use it. If you love paper and pens, use those. If you love Excel, use that. If you love stickers and washi tape, then use those. You're not going to use it if you don't love it. Am I right? I mean, really, if we try to use a system that doesn't work for us and it frustrates us, we're not going to use it. So my system, my personal system, is a notebook and a pen. I love my planner, and I write everything down in that book. If I don't write it down, there's no way I'm going to remember it. So I write every little detail down in there, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But creating systems, this is huge. Okay, we're going to talk about time management. And the first thing that I want to talk about with that is our master lists. You need to have a notebook or an app on your phone, a piece of paper, whatever, but it needs to be designated for your master list. So you want to keep your personal life and your Jamberry life separate. So you're going to have a master list for your personal life, and you're going to have a master list for your Jamberry work. You're going to write every single thing down that comes to your mind on this list, things that you need to get done for your business. If you think of something you need to do, write it on that list. Carry it with you everywhere. And keep this as your main to-do list, your go-to list. It's okay if it's long. Mine's always long. If it needs to get done, it needs to get moved, get picked up, get scheduled, whatever, put it on your master list so that when you sit down each week to plan your week, you have your master list right next to you so that you can schedule in items for each day right from your master list. This is going to free up your mind. It's going to reduce your stress. It's going to help you sleep at night, and it's just going to increase productivity. Basically what you're going to do with this, okay, we're going to get a little bit more into it in depth, but if you don't have a list of the things you need to get done, you could sit there for, and I'm sure we've all done this, you could sit there for 2 hours, quote unquote, working, and then at the end of it, you think, what did I just do? Like, I worked for 2 hours, but I don't think I got anything done. I don't know if that resonates with any of you, but I've done that before. And if I don't have a list and I'm not checking that off, I don't get a whole lot done. So I think a lot of that, and I don't know about you, but I've forgotten to write some things down a time or two. And man, that creates panic. I'll think to myself, did I send so-and-so a sample? Did I send that host packet out? Oh my goodness, did I send that free accent sheet? I can't even remember. And I'll end up sending multiple samples to someone because I forgot if I sent them a sample. It's the craziest thing. If I had just written it down first and said, okay, I sent sample to so-and-so on this day, boom, then I can remember that I sent her a sample, and I don't have to panic and be stressed out and lose sleep over it and not be as productive because I didn't create my list. So that's what these lists are for. Creating your list that you need to do every day is just going to be key for you. So we're going to talk about the critical 6. These are 6 things that you need to complete from your master list every single day. You want to do them as quickly as possible throughout the day. Even, if you need to wake up a half an hour early to get them done first thing in the day, do that. Whatever is going to work for you. But at the end of the day, you're able to sit down and look at what you were able to cross off your list. If you didn't get it finished for that day, just move one of those, whatever you didn't get finished, move it to the next day, and you can work on it tomorrow. You're just going to work through your master list with 6 things a day, just crossing off tasks as you do them, and moving what you don't get right to the next day. You can do this for both your personal and your business life. Obviously, we're talking a little bit more about your business life, but you can do it for your personal life too. If you have a cable bill on your master list, and you move it onto your list of 6 that day. If you get it done, great, cross it off both of your lists. If you don't get it done, move it to the next day's list until it's done. That's just kind of an example, but just same with your business. I kind of just wrote up a quick little example. If you have on your list for today, okay, I need to send these samples to these people. And I need to follow up with this person. I need to open this party. I need to make hostess packets. I need to print more brochures. Okay, so that's on your critical list for today. Obviously, you're going to want to prioritize. Make sure you do the things that are the most important every single day. So out of that list, obviously the things that are most important is send that sample out, send those samples, follow up with that person you need to follow up with, open that party. You don't want to be late opening parties. Those are your 3 things. If you only get to those 3 things today, Those are the ones you want to do. The make hostess packets, oh man, that didn't get done today, but you know what? That wasn't imperative that I had to get done today, even though I really wanted to. So I will move that to tomorrow, and I'll get that done tomorrow. Same with printing more brochures. We can move that till tomorrow as well. That's kind of the idea, is that you have your list of 6 things that you want to do. Oftentimes in my planner, I will have more than 6 things, especially if I have, 4 samples to get out and 3 people to follow up with. I kind of count those as one category and knock them all out. So that's kind of a little bit about your critical 6 and how important that is to keep lists. Hopefully you can see that that would be a huge benefit. Just going along with that, you can use a sticky note each day. You can use your planner, like I use my planner, or you can use a piece of paper like this that you fill out each week, and just fill them out each day as they come. And then the activities that you don't get done, obviously you move to the next day. So whatever works, whatever system, like I said, find a system that works for you and stick to it. Something that you enjoy doing, find that system. I enjoy my planner and my paper and my pen and writing things down. So that's the key. Find your system and then make your lists. This is so important. You can't just sit down and think, okay, so what should I do today? That will not work. I've done that and you don't get a whole lot done. So make your list. Be intentional with your business hours. Okay. And then this just kind of shows you, having a planner. I don't know, I think having a planner is so key for me, but just mapping out each day of what you want to do is really important. So you have your master list, but mapping out what you want to do each day. So sit down one night a week. Usually Sunday is recommended, so either Sunday night or Monday morning I'll do this. But you just write down every single thing that you have planned as far in advance. So if I have something coming up, say a vendor event 2 weeks from now, I'll write that down to make sure I have it already in my planner. Just making sure that you have your week planned out so that you know what you need to complete each day. Hopefully this is making sense. I just think that having it written down and having it in front of you is really key to a successful business, because you are able to see what's in front of you for the day ahead and prioritize your time, really, and making sure that you're able to use your business hours wisely. So now I'm going to hand it over to Shelly, and she's going to talk about business management.
Hey ladies, so we're going to talk a little bit about business management. This is something that I absolutely love. Between this and time management, I'm a big management nerd, I guess. But with business management, it's all about your business, all about making yourself stand out a little bit more than the other 100 and something thousand consultants. So one of the best things you can do is something that is a lost art, and that's the art of a handwritten note. It's something that you can send to a customer for an order, send to someone who's hosting a party, before and after I usually send notes, or even to a team member, both upline and downline. Everyone loves getting mail in the mail because the only thing you usually get is bills. So it's nice to have something that is a guilt-free communication, because you write it, you send it, and that's it. Nothing else is needed from you. You can make it decorative. I usually find the brightest fluorescent, most obnoxious envelopes to send my mail in, because then they can't miss it. Washi tape, I love. Don't put glitter inside, because when you open it up, nothing's worse than getting exploded with glitter. Make it fun with stickers on the outside, stickers on the note cards. I usually buy blank note cards and kind of make them my own. Dollar store, dollar spot at Target, those are all great places to find cheap but really nice note cards and stationery. One thing that is suggested that you can do, as far as within your own team, is to go through your team activity report and kind of use the mailing labels. Like you can buy the sheets of mailing labels at like Staples or something, and print your downline's name and address on a label, so that once every couple weeks or something you send someone out a note card. You just peel off the label, and you know that you've gotten that one done, and you send that off in the mail, and they're a happy person because they got some mail. Another thing you can do is, because entrepreneurs are creatures of multitasking, have a go bag with you where you can have note cards, pens, paper, stickers, stamps, and your return address labels. This way, if you're sitting at the doctor's office and you have an hour-long wait for your appointment, you can knock out a couple cards, put it in the post, in the little mailbox, and you're all set. As far as setting boundaries for your business, social media is powerful, and a couple years ago, we wouldn't have been tied to our phones, our computers, our tablets, our laptops, anything that makes being there 24/7. So I noticed with my own self that I kind of lose myself in my phone a lot of times, and I forget that my son is in the room. But I don't forget that he's in the room, but you kind of lose track of time, and things kind of happen, and next thing you know, you've been on Facebook for 3 hours, and you've lost all that time when you could have been doing something productive. Social media, the internet, smartphones are all like a double-edged sword. They're great for staying in communication, but they're also bad for staying in communication. So one thing that's suggested is setting power hours. Not power hours, business hours, I'm sorry. Those, I usually say it's always good to take a day off. I sometimes, instead of doing power hours, if I know that the week is going to be crazy, I just set aside quiet time where we turn off our phones, we leave them on the chargers in the kitchen, and we just don't touch them for a couple hours. You can do that instead if power hours don't work for you. You can kind of limit the use of social media on your phone. I know some of you may have double Instagrams. You have a Facebook personal page, Facebook business page. One thing to do is, if you're going to post something, post it and then log out of that app. I know it's a pain to sign in and out. A lot of them will just remember your password and everything. But it's better to kind of set those strong boundaries of saying, okay, these are my work times, and then this is family time, personal time, fun time, whatever it may be. So set those limits for yourself. Log in, post in your parties, post on your business page, log out. Then a couple hours later, go in, log in, check your notifications, message people, and then log right back out. Trust me, it'll make your life so much less hectic by not feeling so tied to your phone and social media. So let's move on to everyone's favorite topic, which is money. It's time to handle your money. I know my first year, I was the victim of just throwing all of my receipts into one big pile, and then at tax time, I sat there and I cried with a whole pot of coffee because I had to go through all my receipts and figure out what they were for. So one thing that I've done is I have one of those big 8x11 file folder type things, the accordion files, and I have a tab for each month. And what I do is I take that month's receipts and I put them in there. A lot of times, if it's not obvious what it was for, a lot of times for post office, I usually like to write like what who I mailed to, just so I have track of it for myself. Anything that you order for your business that it's not clearly stated on the receipt, I go ahead and I do that. Sometimes if I have a receipt that has mixed personal and business stuff, I just highlight the business stuff. This way I know what it's for. Then it's suggested to do once a month to go through and enter all your information into TaxBot if you use it, or into your financial record keeping software, whatever you use. What I do is once every 3 or 4 months, I go through and I just make sure all the receipts are there, and I kind of keep track. I don't use TaxBot, but many other people do. But as long as you have some sort of organizational system in there, that's key. It's also recommended to contact a CPA for your taxes, who you submit the info to. And you can file taxes quarterly with if you feel that you want to do that, or you can just do it annually, like many of us do. If you're feeling overwhelmed with exactly what is involved with your taxes, make sure to reach out to your upline. Many of them can either answer your questions or kind of direct you as to where you can find those questions. There's lots of other free resources for us to use through TaxBot. tax bot. It's a very useful tool. I haven't had a chance to actually work with it, but everyone that uses it absolutely loves it, and it's a great way to kind of keep track of your records and your finances and make sure that nothing gets lost. So make sure you control your money and don't let it control you. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to the awesome Mandy.
Mandy will be right on. She's just having a little bit of a technical difficulty. So just hold on with us just 1 second. Here she is.
Thank you so much. I am going to talk about emotional management. Emotional management is crucial to your business and its longevity. Something you will need to be more aware of is your frustrations with yourself, with people, excuses from yourself, excuses from other people, and then lastly, dysfunctional people, because we all have them in our lives. And if we are more aware of it, then we are more prepared to handle it, and we as people and our business is better off. That being said, it is so important to keep your business a blessing, regardless of what is on your plate. When you choose gratitude towards your business, it'll be so much easier to see the positive with your hostesses, customers, team members, and Jam Sisters. So I'm going to talk about self-awareness. And self-awareness is I recognize my own emotions and how they affect my thoughts and behavior. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I have self-confidence. Knowing this about yourself, you will be able to do so many things. I suggest you check in with yourself. You set aside time during the day to assess your emotional state. You can ask yourself a series of questions and answer them honestly. It's just you and yourself. You can ask, what am I feeling? What is the source of this? Why am I feeling this way? How are these feelings manifesting themselves? And think about how you're feeling. Are you experiencing tenseness in your shoulders? Are you clenching your teeth? Are you getting a headache? Are you feeling worn down and having anxiety? Those are all red flags that you kind of need to step back and check in with yourself. Another great thing for self-awareness is labeling your emotions. Once you determine what and how you feel, if you learn to label these emotions, it can really help you identify the triggers of these negative feelings. Some common examples of emotions are like fear, anger, surprise, passion. Write down these labels for your emotions along with thoughts and how those were triggered. Once you can identify the source of those feelings and see it on paper, it becomes so much more clear what you need to do to avoid that. And then lastly, be in the moment. Listen to what your emotions and feelings might be telling you at those given moments. You can learn to use that information you hear to really gain some added insight and guidance to work through these things. And all of these things can relate to goal setting. When you, at the end of the month, maybe if you didn't reach your goals, you can be in a feeling of discouragement, and it can be really hard to set new goals. But if you check in with yourself and you label those emotions and step back, you can really reflect on the great areas of your business and set a new goal for the next month. The next topic is self-management, and that is, how can I take control when I'm having trouble? How can I manage my emotions, take initiative, follow through, and adapt to change? Technology is constantly changing and improving, so it's really important to keep an open mind so that you can continue to meet the needs of your business, and because no situation is going to be perfect. That is definitely something that you can guarantee. Just 1 second.
seriously, how fun is it that we get to work at home and run our businesses? And sometimes we have distractions. So, Mandy's babysitter actually canceled on her last minute. So, she doesn't have someone to watch her sweet little one at home. So, just give her just a second to settle her down. Um, and we'll keep moving forward. So, just 1 minute.
Hi, I'm back. So, like I just said, no situation is going to be perfect. That is definitely something that you can guarantee. But how you take control of it and manage your emotions will speak so loud when you are running your business. And the next one I'm going to talk about is social awareness. And social awareness is feeling emotions and concerns and being able to ask, is this something healthy or are these bad seeds? Picking up on emotional cues, feeling comfortable socially, recognizing power dynamics in a group or organization, set expectations, begin with guidelines and boundaries. And if this is an area of struggle for you, I really suggest surrounding yourself with people you look up to, whether it be a leader, whether it be it's a leader in your team, your sponsor, direct sales experts, books. Those are all great things to be able to surround yourself with. If you need a little more guidance on, feeling comfortable socially. And with that, one second. Here you go. So if those areas, if you have a hard time with those areas, I challenge you to channel your personal power. And I am going to provide some tips for channeling your personal power for self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness, so that you can really build that into a strength. And the first thing you are going to want to start is make a list of your strengths. Keep a journal to track your significant accomplishments. If it is a big deal to you, write it down. Ask yourself what you excel at to identify your strengths. Ask your sponsor, what do you think my strengths are? Writing them down helps you imagine how you feel when using one of your strengths and succeeding. And share it with others, because you will feel so empowered when you do that. And remember, emotions and feelings, especially positive ones, can be so powerful, and they can really motivate your future performance. And next, ask for feedback. Don't hesitate to ask for input about your actions from trusted Jam sisters or your sponsor. Their input can improve and provide invaluable information that you might not necessarily see. It'll help you recognize how well you handle various situations and point to areas where you can grow even stronger. And then move on from failures. Don't dwell on what you consider a failure as lasting or permanent. Recognize what you can learn from that mistake, and then take that information and apply it to future situations. The more you dwell on it, the more, like, I read somewhere that for every minute you think a negative thought, it takes 5 minutes of positive thoughts to counteract that. So moving on from failures quickly is definitely going to make you more successful. And then the last area is relationship management. You are aware and can communicate clearly, influence and inspire others, work well in a team, manage conflict, take time before you respond when you're really upset. You know how to develop and maintain good relationships, and you understand hurting people are going to hurt people. The way someone treats you is really on their heart, but the way you react is on yours. So whether someone lashes out at you or ignores you, try so hard not to take it personally. I know it is so hard. But try really hard not to take it personally, because you never know what is on their plate or what is causing that. So some tips for emotional management: always take a moment before you react. Even, I mean, if you if you have a hard hostess, or someone is having problems with their jams and they're really frustrated, tell them, say, hey, I need a moment before I can respond to you, or hey, you know what, I would love to reach out to Jamboree for you. I will message you back soon. And sometimes if something really upsets you and you just need to walk away completely before you react, that is okay. That is good to know about yourself. Another tip is ask for guidance. I am a believer, so I will pray about a lot of things before I react or respond. You can always reach out to your sponsor, reach out to your team manager, reach out to a leader that you really trust to be like, hey, I really need some guidance with this. I know, I mean, even team managers, and I know even Becky does this with her sponsor too. Asking for guidance is so important, to see another perspective before you respond. Another tip is find a healthy outlet. I am a huge believer in deep breaths. I don't care if I have to take 10 deep breaths before I respond. I will do that. Working out, getting lunch with a mentor. I know some people really love listening to direct sales experts even when they work out, and that's huge. Finding a healthy outlet is key. Another tip is seeing the big picture. Thinking, if I respond in this way, how is it going to be productive in the future? Another tip is replacing your negative and non-constructive thoughts with positive and foundation building thoughts. There you go. Just go this way. Because like I said before, when you let those negative thoughts fester, it is just going to make things 10 times worse. I remember my car, the tire, it kept needing air, and the more I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a flat tire. I'm going to be stranded with my daughter. Oh my gosh, I should get it fixed, but it's going to cost a fortune. I'm probably going to need all 4 tires fixed. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And so by the time that I got to the tire store, I was so worked up. I was in tears. And he said, honey, you have a nail in your tire. We'll just patch it. But I was so worked up, and those thoughts consumed me. I thought about it all the time when it was such a simple fix. And if I had just thought, this is just a tire, I can get it fixed, I would have been so much more productive. And then the last tip I have is forgive your emotional triggers and recognize what they are. They're just that. They're triggers. It can be people. It can be situations. It can be something that you're going through, and it's okay. Don't put yourself too deep. And honestly, if it's a person that triggers you, the quicker you forgive them and move on, the faster you will build yourself in your heart to prepare you for other situations. And you know what? It's okay. You can Sharpie individuals out of your life. When there are constant negatives and it brings you down, it is okay to say, you know what? I am going through a season in my life, and right now, I need to take a break from you. I love you. 1 second. Here. Because you're only as great as the people around you, and life is so abundant. There's a poem, people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. When you figure out which one it is, you will know what to do for each person. When someone is in your life for a reason, it is usually to meet a need you have expressed. They have come to assist you through a difficulty, to provide you with guidance and support, to aid you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. They may seem like a godsend, and they are. They are there for the reason you need them to be. But then, without any wrongdoing on your part, or at an inconvenient time, this person will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. And sometimes they die. Sometimes they walk away. Sometimes they act up and force you to take a stand. What we must realize is that our need has already been met and our desire fulfilled, and their work is done. The prayer was sent up and it had been answered, and now it's time to move on. When people come into your life for a season, because your turn has come to share, grow, or learn, they bring you an experience of peace or make you laugh. They may teach you something that you have never done. They usually give you an unbelievable amount of joy. Believe it because it's real, but only for a season. And lifetime relationships teach you lifetime lessons, things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person, and put what you have learned to use in all other relationships and areas of your life.
Okay, ladies, so we're going to go over week 4's homework. Remember that they need to be submitted before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. The mandatory assignments are to listen to a minimum of 4 daily vitamins. There are 5 weekday messages and a Saturday message that runs through Sunday. You want to post your time management change to our Facebook group, Girlboss, hashtag Girlboss. Post your business management change to our Facebook group, hashtag Girlboss. And post your emotional management change to our Facebook group, hashtag Girlboss. I think there's more. There we go. There's the daily vitamin. Make sure that you dial in every day. Take your daily vitamin. And here is our points ones. So for each of the following activities are worth 1 point, as they always are. You can complete each activity multiple times to earn multiple points. For example, making 40 customer care calls is 2 points. So your power hour, you want to work 60 minutes of outreach communication. I usually suggest not to stack them all up in one day, so don't do 3 power hours in one day. Try and spread the level a little bit throughout your week. Do 20 customer care calls. Book 2 new parties for November. Think Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Celebration Box, Hanukkah, Christmas, all those fun times. Conduct a party within the next 7 days, and see about sponsoring 1 new team member in the next 7 days. And that little dog is equipped to win. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Becky.
Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us tonight and for working with our distractions, cute little distractions, of course. Hopefully you got a lot out of this evening, and thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions while you're going through your homework, just reach out to your upline team manager, and we would love to help you. All right, ladies, have a good night.